Okay, this is a first look at Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. I know a bit about the set, I've done a couple drafts, but here I want to do another one and present it for all of you online. First, look at the rare here. First strike, and on your turn, Death Touch. And whenever it attacks, venture into the dungeon. Wow, that's really good. The dungeon mechanic is neat in the set. If you don't know much about that, we'll probably see that in some of the games. Other options here, we've got Charmed Sleep at common, good removal spell. Some of these I don't know exactly what they do. Pack Tactics is like the Gruul thing. If you're attacking with 6 power, you get some bonuses. Goblin synergy, I guess, exists within the set. Enchantment card, put it on top. Yeah, there's lots of keywords for things that are just pretty benign. Choose one. Target creature becomes something. You know, I'm going to take Triumphant Adventurer. If you have another way of protecting this, getting to go into the dungeon every turn is pretty good, especially pretty early in the game. We're not committed to black-white, but it is something to keep an eye on. Rare missing. If a creature died this turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. That's not awful. Okay, Rally Maneuver is pretty good, and it makes sense with Adventurer to some extent. Devour Intellect, let's see, Displacement Beast. Ooh. Any card that just gets into the dungeon is pretty good. When it enters, put on top of your library or into your hand. Yeah, it's not great. I'm tempted by Rally Maneuver, but I think I'm going to go with Evolving Wilds here. I like to stay a little open, and there's nothing ridiculous. Maybe Displacer Beast is ridiculous. I think if I wasn't already kind of wanting to be black-white, that might be what I tried there. Whenever you roll 1 or more dice, it's Flying and Menace. Then draw a card. If any of your... Yeah, the blue-red synergy is rolling dice. I mean, all colors roll dice, I'm pretty sure. But it really pays you off. A Tiefling Warlock. Some kind of devilish thing. Create a 1/1 red goblin that's tapped and attack. Battle Cry Goblin is not bad. When this dies, venture into the dungeon. I might have to give up on the Adventurer here. I do like Faraday. Yeah, I think that's worth picking up here, even if we don't end up in Faraday's deck. Minimus Containment, make something into a treasure. That's pretty cool. The red-black deck is the deck of treasure, so usually if you cast something using mana from a treasure, it gives you some benefit. I like Dawnbringer Cleric. I don't know how many great enchantments there are, but it's a lot of good value. The Mace might be decent. 5 damage to target creature with flying. Double target creature's power and toughness, that's pretty good. I think we take Containment. Warlock class. These classes can be really good. Let me just see if I remember this one. Each opponent loses 1 life if a creature died. So if creatures die, that's just the Warlock thing. I'm trying to think if that's going to be black-white. When this class becomes level 2, draw a card, essentially. And then at level 3, paying 7 mana to get it there, double life loss. Cast a spell only if a creature died this turn. Interesting. Grim Wanderer. It's a good payoff, but maybe not so amazing. I'm going to take Warlock class. If you reveal a dragon, 1/1 counter, and dragons have ward. Dragon's Disciple is pretty bad. I think if you have a bunch of dragons, minimum uncommon, then it can be okay. Take the Pegasus, possibly. Feign death. No, I want actual death. Target creature, when it dies, return it tapped. Could be good with the Adventurer, but we can't assume we're always going to have the Adventurer. If treasure was spent to cast it, this thing, draw a card, lose a life. Pretty good for a 2-mana card if you have treasure, but we can't really rely on that. Knoll Hunter is solid. Compel Duel, yeah, maybe we'll take the Pegasus. This format seems tempo-y to me. More stuff dying. I don't know if there's like a particular sacrifice outlet. Save a creature or pump a creature. Flash +0/+2. Direwolf Prowler. Ooh, contact other plane. This is really nice with Faraday. I'm not really excited about much else here. Maybe Direwolf Prowler, but let's take contact the other plane. Baleful Beholder. Beholders must be good. Each opponent sacrifices an enchantment. Creatures you control gain menace. Can't believe there's a common Beholder. These are supposed to be some of the most fearsome monsters. I guess it's a 6/5. Draw 2 cards and create a treasure token. Interesting. So that's kind of good for that's kind of good for enabling treasure synergies as well as death synergies, if that's such a thing. Whenever you gain life, that thing gets better. Enchantment card on top, so we could get a class or Minimus Containment or something. That's not awful. Great Axe, too expensive to equip. I think if you had a reliable evasive creature, that'd be better. Celestial Unicorn. Green-white is like the life gain deck, and that card can be pretty good. Oh, Boulette. If a creature died this turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. So, well, I guess things dying is not limited to a white-black mechanic, or even a black mechanic. Manticore, Devour Intellect. Target opponent discards 1 card, or you can choose a card if you spent something on it. Yeah, I'm going to take Rally Maneuver. I think this works so well with Triumphant Adventurer that it might just be a 2-for-1 a lot of the time. Oh, wow. Make camp and you happen upon a glade. I actually like this. These modal spells are pretty solid, and getting 2 basic land cards into your hand is not the worst, and it's an instant too. I guess a lot of the modal spells like that are. Basic Forest onto the field tapped. I don't love it. You come across a river is really good. Yeah. Just bouncing something is good enough. Destroy artifact, enchantment, or create a treasure and venture into the dungeon. Probably just want the Prowler, but whatever. I'll take the more interesting cards here. The Prowler's not bad. So this is kind of a mess here. Let's see what the hand of Vecna is. Well, who's Vecna, first of all? Because if you do control Vecna, +X/+X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Equip for 2, or you can equip it for cheap. Number of cards in your hand, that's pretty good. What about this, though? Nadar enters venture into the dungeon, pretty good. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 as long as you've completed a dungeon. Oh, we gotta take that. I think Hand of Vecna is good, and any deck can play it, but we don't have Vecna. And Nadar is also pretty good. And I think it looks like black-white might be all about adventuring in the dungeon. Blue also has some advantages for dungeon nonsense. But yeah, let's take Nadar. Green dragon is neat. Dungeon map is pretty good, especially in 2-color decks with 5 drops and so forth. Dragonfire is really good. 3 damage to a creature at instant speed, and it only gets better from there. But yeah, Nadar. Tiamat? Tiamat was worth something. It's still worth a bit. It's still worth 5 tickets. I'm not promising I'm going to play it. In fact, we're probably not going to play it, but I wonder what was in this pack that... Well, who passed it to us, first of all? Nivical. Thank you. Thank you for passing us Tiamat. I will take Tiamat. It is not very good in draft. It's a 7-mana 7/7 flyer, and if you cast it from your hand or from anywhere, you get 5 dragon cards with different names from your deck into your hand. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous, but, well, who knows. Volo Guide to Monsters. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you don't share... Copy the spell. Oh, that's good. And Temple of the Dragon Queen. Oh no. We really should not do Tiamat. We have Evolving Wilds. But on the other hand, when else are we going to have the chance? Get some treasures. Land enters, gain a life. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Oh no, when are we going to get the chance? I'm going to take Temple. So, I'm derailing the draft because Tiamat might be really fun to try. But we'll see. We'll see if that works out for us. 5 damage for 5 mana. If you would roll 1 or more dice, ignore the lowest roll. Roll at advantage. Blink Dog, 1/1 double strike. Yeah, nothing ridiculous here for us. Sacrifice. Oh, here we go. Sacrifice a creature. +2/+2 on the Sepulture Ghoul. Is that something we want? I don't think so. I think we just take Pixie Guide here. 1/3 flyer. This format is a little less powerful than some of the more ridiculous formats recently, and 1/3 is not a bad rate for something. Orb of Dragonkind. We're just never going to get dragons, though. Maybe we wait for Dragonkind to wheel to us. That's a good way to cast Tiamat, though, which is 7 mana. This is crazy. Demogorgon's Clutches is pretty good. Death Touch Attacker. I'll just take the Lightfoot Rogue. I might end up abandoning Tiamat, but boy, would that be fun. Destroy a creature with... Oh, it's literally Plummet. Nice. Create a treasure token. Can't be blocked as long as its power is 3 or less. That's kind of neat. Not something we really need. Create a treasure token and venture into the dungeon. You find a cursed idol. I think we want this Dawnbringer Cleric, right? I still want to focus on black-white. But if enough green stuff comes, then I might switch into that a bit more. I like this kind of counter magic. It's just cancel with a little upside. Enter into the dungeon, secret door. Take the skeletons. Another rally maneuver. Five mana, 4/4. Gain 2 life. Each opponent loses 2 life. You gain 2 life and create 2 treasure tokens. Herald of Hadar is not bad. Maybe another rally maneuver. When in doubt, take the less common one. Here we go, Green Dragon. The more dragons we have, the better some of these cards become. Find the path isn't amazing for us. I'll take Green Dragon here. And it gives us something for Tiamat to benefit from. Otherwise, it's a 7/7, which doesn't do anything. Come on, dragons. We can do it. Cast this only if a creature died this turn. That's not going to be too uncommon. Maybe we just want Hexblade. The Earth Cult Elemental is solid. I've played with it. Oftentimes it's just going to be a one-sided, your opponent sacrifices something. Otherwise it's not too bad to cast a 6-drop and then sacrifice a land. I'll take a sacrifice outlet. Stunning Strike. Tap target creature. That's not too bad. It's a little expensive, but hey, tap target creature. Devour Intellect, sure. And Plummet to protect our Tiamat. We'll take Plummet. Now, you may be wondering what's going on here, and I'm kind of wondering the same thing. On the Dragon Caster didn't come back, so that's a little bit of a shame. If you control too many lands, otherwise it makes a Beholder. Exile from your opponent's graveyard. Hive is not bad. Herbalist is pretty bad. Exile a black permanent could be good. Dragon's Fire. Another Pegasus. A 3/3 Menace. Yeah, let's take Hive of the Tyrant. That's definitely something we'll play. Ooh, Hama Pashar Ruined Seeker and Loyal Warhound to get some more rare cards here. Okay, 3/1 Vigilance, and if for whatever reason your opponent has more lands, you get a land. I can't see that being too bad. Yeah, it's great, actually. I mean, it might not be the best card in the pack, but it's good. And a lot of the other things are just not the right color. 50 feet of rope, oh yeah. A necessity for an adventurer. Target wall can't block this turn. Target creature doesn't untap during its opponent's next untap step. Venture into the dungeon. 4 mana. It's not awful. Feign Death. Another Minimus Containment. Let's take another one of these. I think removal is pretty important. Alright, are we really doing this? Another Evolving Wilds makes Tiamat just that closer to within reach. And you know, I'm never sad to have it, and there's nothing ridiculous in this pack. But besides Tiamat, Dungeon Crawler. Whenever you complete a dungeon, return that. Nah. Yeah, I mean, we just have a lot of other colored cards that we might want to play here. Compelled Duel. Contact another plane. Yeah, there's a lot of good cards here. Shambling Ghast, 1/1. I don't love it. Having a card like Clattering Skeletons is not bad. I think there's even a dungeon that makes a treasure, so yeah, it's pretty versatile. Yeah, let's grab Clattering Skeletons. Why not? Bag of Holding. This kind of lets you filter through. Discard a card. Draw a card, then discard a card. That might be worth it here. Find the Path. I don't think so. Veteran Dungeoneer. That's going to be better. Let's do that. Some of the dungeons are really good. And whenever planar ally attacks, dungeon time. Yeah, that's another solid one. So I think we're... Oh, Blue Dragon. Okay, hold on. Seven mana dragon. Otherwise, we could just take this Pegasus and call it a day. Yeah, I think we're going to give up on Tiamat here. But then, do I need this Pegasus? I don't really love Thieves' Tools. Yeah, let's take the Pegasus. A lot of our creatures sort of rely on being able to attack. What does it mean to phase out? It means it's gone until your opponent's next turn, which could be decent. Especially if someone is double blocking Triumphant Adventurer, for example. We could take another Pegasus or a Cleric. I'll take Divine Smite. Ooh, double strike as long as you've finished a dungeon. Robber's not so good. What is this thing? Not great. Okay, let's take Gloomstalker. Blink Dog. What's Blink Dog? Double strike and it phases out. So you can do 1 damage and then phase it out. I don't... Well, this would be good with equipment, I guess, because the equipment would come back with it. But we don't have any... I mean, I guess it could be a chump blocker. I don't know. It's that or Feign Death, and I think we don't need Feign Death. Oh, all right. Zombie Ogre. Jeez. It's too bad that Mimic isn't a treasure, because you can sacrifice it to add 1 mana of any color. And some things note when you sacrifice a treasure specifically, like the Gingerbread Man from Eldraine was a food. Why can't this be a treasure? Maybe it's because it's not actually a treasure. You know, Spare Dagger is pretty good here. As long as we have a Death Touch creature. We only have 1, but hey, it's good with our Blink Dog too, right? Ah, okay. Great, so we pretty much derailed the draft with Tiamat, and I don't think we quite got there, despite trying so hard. Probably taking some suboptimal cards. But the black-white cards we drafted seem to be enough to make something. We have a couple really solid tricks, a ton of creatures. What is this? Warlock class. 3 mana to draw a card. And when creatures die, 1 damage. And if we get this to level 3, whenever a creature has died, 2 damage. Not bad. Spare Dagger's probably just about good enough. Let's see what we can do here. I want to focus on the dungeon, because I think that's a pretty powerful mechanic in the set to begin with. And we have a couple good payoffs for it. Nadar pumps all of your stuff as long as you've completed a dungeon. Once you complete a dungeon, you can just start a new one. And they progress. They're like 3 or 4, well, anywhere from 3 to 6 or so rooms long. depending on which dungeon you choose, you can choose any of 3, and it'll show you the dungeons on Magic Online when you have the option of entering one, so you get to choose. Take that out. Double strike as long as you've completed it. Some removal in here. What is this? Half-elf monk. Yeah, let's just do all the dungeon stuff. Anyway, it's good to keep dungeons in mind. I wonder how many times venturing through the dungeon is worth drawing a card. It sort of depends, because the first couple rooms don't give you much, but like the last room often gives you something crazy, like a 4/4, or draw 3 cards, or draw a card, depending on how hard the dungeon was to get through. 2/1 Death Touch Attacker, that's good. I mean, this doesn't block very well, but hey, it's a 2/1, whatever. It rolls dice, which also doesn't matter. I don't think we have enough ways of making treasure to make that particularly good. I like the ghoul. Let me think. Okay, the cleric lets us find containment in warlock class for the next turn, and that's probably enough to make that good. It's already a 3/2. Pegasus to get things attacking. Divine Smite, Cleric. Dispute is probably fine. What was this Warhound? Why is it over here? Oh yeah, just a 3/1 Vigilance, give it flying later, that's pretty good. Rally Maneuver. Maybe we need 1 cut. Or we could risk it here with 16 lands. After all, we have plenty of good fixing. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. You know, Hive is enough reason to play 17. Why don't we take out Divine Smite? It's just a really bad, like, tap a creature, unless our opponent has a black deck. It's probably worth main decking it just on the off chance your opponent is a black deck, but then again, it's worth being in your sideboard in case they're not a black deck. So I don't know the math on it, but we need a cut, and I don't want to cut anything else here. Maybe we'll start with like a 10-7 base here, since if we look at what we're trying to get in play early, I guess there's a little bit of everything, isn't there? Getting the class in early is not awful. A lot of stuff here. Usually I'll consider removal and tricks later game cards. So that's our early stuff. Triumphant Adventurer. Okay, so I'm happy with 10-7, 9-8 might be okay too. But let's make it a little better. With 17, I kind of want both of these Evolving Wilds and that. Now, I don't want the Temple of the Dragon Queen. If you were a 3-color deck, it'd be fine. You just get to choose a color, and that adds that color for the rest of the game. But we got, you know, would have been sweet. You can't blame me for not trying, because I kind of tried, and I believe it. I totally believe it's possible. I wish I knew. I don't quite know where you want to be in terms of fixing for a 5-color deck yet. So maybe I didn't navigate it perfectly, but hey, this is my, this is a first look at the format. You can't beat yourself up over what you don't even know. That's a good Magic lesson. Well, let's get a little screenshot here as a memento. And this is just an Orzhov, what would it be called? Dungeon Crawlers deck. I don't know. Save it. Here we go. When it's down to 6, this is a fine hand. Nothing crazy, but Yeah, these cards are so average. It's nice that you can do the Ghoul's ability at instant speed, certainly. Opponent's down to 5. That's rough. 5 on the play, too. Ouch, ouch, ouch. 2-1. Maximum containment. So I just want to trade off as much as I can with this player early. 2 damage in here. I'll say this card's not great, but it is great if you can get it on turn 1, obviously. Minimus containment. Yeah, now we'll do the cleric. Obviously I trade here. I guess it's not completely obvious, but no. Okay, phew. Sometimes at the beginning of the format that happens, but I nearly passed through my turn because something weird happened on their turn. I don't have any weird stops. But if you F6 twice on your opponent's turn, one of those F6s might register on the beginning of yours, and I'm glad they didn't F6 through my turn immediately. They don't need to do this now. They missed a turn of usefulness out of it because of it. This is tough. I'm going to do Warlock class here because I want to get something out of my Pegasus. That's usually a bad mindset to have, but I also want Warlock class in play. Let's see, they're doing one of the shorter dungeons, 4 rooms, scry 1, make a goblin. It's a pretty intuitive thing once you get the hang of it. So what happens now? Into your hand. Yeah, I think I just want this Pegasus. So we get 4 damage in here. Tie things up. Where did they scry? They scried to the top, so they like their top card. They don't have anything really good enough for me to contain yet. Yuan-Ti Fangblade. Yuan-Ti Fangblade. Ooh, I could go for some tea. Death Touch 2/2. Well, Rally Maneuver is good against that, or could be good against that. Death Touch Attacker. I think I want to keep doing this. We might even get a swamp here, but if we don't get a swamp, it'll be something better than a swamp. The swamp would get us Lightfoot Rogue. Ooh, Hive of the Tyrant. That does come in tapped. If we control 2 or more other lands. Draw 2 cards and create a treasure. Chattering Skeletons. It's a tough one. But let's take Hive and pass it to them. They haven't drawn any land, which is why they're sort of appearing to catch up a little bit. But I will, I guess, trade my Moon Blessed Cleric with this blade. We'll see what happens. Rally Maneuver might be an important thing here. Enchant Creature. Interesting. -2/-2 to the Pegasus. All right, well, There wasn't anything I could do about that here. Great. They're not attacking with their flyer. Why not? I want to know why not. Okay. Let me think. Yeah. So we'll keep both of these around in the following way. First strike plus O+2. So they lose their Death Toucher, and we don't take any damage. Not amazing, but it's fine, I guess. Exile something from opponent's graveyard. We don't need to do that yet. If a creature died this turn, venture into the dungeon. I kind of want a creature to die, don't I? I think they just take it. So I guess I don't want a creature to die that much. There's a lot of good mana sinks in this format. A lot of them have to do with the dungeon as well. So if you run out of cards in your hand, you'll often get to do something dungeony. Ooh, 3/3, huh? Okay, adding white, that's a surprise. Oh, just adding anything. Another venture into the dungeon type thing. Create a treasure. Target creature gets -4 power. And whatever works. I should have done the Warlock class last turn. What are they going to do? Put that on the Zombie Ogre. Right. Oh boy. I'll keep the Pegasus around. I kind of want it to die on my turn. Or we could unlock it with Minimus Containment. Non-land permanent. This is not a... I don't think the dungeon is a permanent so much. Yeah, let's do that. So what we'll do here, I think we can afford to just take a bunch in the air. Let's attack him for 5. Let's go nuts. No blocks from them. We could have attacked them for 3 more this turn, but I like having another creature in play. This comes into play tapped, so they fancy themselves a dungeon crawler. It's literally called dungeon crawler. Oh well. Untap target permanent as a sorcery. That's pretty good. Now what? Flames. They're at 8. I think we just win here. If a creature died this turn, each opponent loses a life. I think a creature has to die, be it mine or theirs. They can't block this in the air. They have one treasure, no cards in hand. So they block the two biggest ones. They take 4, 7. Yep. It's good to be sure. We should have gotten rid of a dungeon crawler. I guess that's the one that has some advantage for them. But that comes in tapped anyway. It's not gonna matter here. Thank you, Warlock class. Death Touch, no first strike. I haven't seen a natural 20 yet. Are those your final blocks? So that just kills them. I guess all we needed to do was get one more power somewhere. Okay, anything we want to change? They had one little Death Touch dude. Ah, Divine Smite coming in for sure. Never know what to cut. Double Rally Maneuver. Deadly Dispute's fine. It's a good one. Containment's good. Spare Dagger's fine. Maybe it's not that easy to complete the dungeon. Moon Blessed Cleric. Let me read this again. Up to one other target creature gets +0/+2. You can't give +2/+2 for strike and lifelink. That's a shame, but I guess can't expect too much more than that. Let's cut a skeleton, whatever. You know, the card to cut here would be a land, but oh well. Bring in a pretty good removal spell. I guess their best creatures weren't black, but at least having the option to get something is pretty good. Alright, let's keep this and thin our deck as much as possible, as soon as possible. Planar Ally is going to be a good one. Nadar's hopefully a good one. So what do we want first? I guess we just want black here. Have a bit of everything. Then Warhound. Actually, we wait a turn for that. Gain 2 life. We can sacrifice it later. Exile a card from a graveyard. I'll just gain 2 life here. So Warhound next turn will get us Planar Ally on turn 4. Which is nuts. As long as I don't screw it up here. Okay, Warhound. Also of note, our opponent mulliganed to 5 cards last game. So if that was a close game, who knows? So yeah, we'll do this. Get a plains, play our swamp, and pass it. So I want to trade Warhound with Yuan-Ti, Mage Hand, and they have a Hive of the Eye Tyrant, whatever. Easiest block of my life. Huh, Spare Dagger. Pretty cheap to equip. Hopefully this ally can survive. Yeah, we'll just play the ally. And if it doesn't survive, it means they used a hefty removal spell on it. And if it does survive, we are in great shape. You may sacrifice Spare Dagger. Spare Dagger's fine. But especially good if you have some Death Touch. And we do. And we do. Death Touch and Double Strike both make this worth the price. Because I think that the really good version of this common effect is 0 mana to play it, 1 mana to equip it, +1/+1. And this is worse than that. So they're choosing the longest dungeon. Gain a life, scry 1. Then you get to choose which way to go. You always go from top to bottom. Rally Maneuver. Oh, this is so good. Okay. So good. None of these cards are that impressive that we need to deal with them. I think we just want to deal with the better stuff as it comes up. So let's attack with Planar Ally. Always yield. And then I didn't even think about what we wanted here. But let's race them in the same dungeon here. So we'll gain a life. It has one of the best payoffs at the very end. Copycat. Just copying them. But if we're going to make a lot of progress through a dungeon, that's pretty... Oh, you know, we should have chosen a shorter one because this effect is only if we've completed a dungeon. But I'll tell you what, we can play Nadar here, and if they go to kill it, we've got Ready Dispute. Oh, hold on. See what they do first. Naturally. The other option we have is to try to get our Warlock class Yeah, this is more aggressive. Oh, they're going to counter it. Uh-oh. At least they just counter target spell rather than counter venture into the dungeon, which is another good one. So they don't have much going on here. Well, they've got 2 cards in their hand. Ah, Nadar. Oh well, in that case I guess I chose the right dungeon. I could have played Spare Dagger, but keeping Deadly Dispute up seems better here. In fact, I might just use it. It's a funny effect. They've only got 1 card left. Flying. No, I think having a 1/3 in play is too good on this field. Untap a permanent, then what? Why? Weird. First things first, let us attack with Planar Ally. I say always yield, but I guess that would only matter next time I did it. Do we want Minimus Containment? I think we just don't. Not yet, not for anything they have going on. Get the 3 damage in. And we'll do Wilds. I'm doing this right away so we can get the Cleric class on top. They all have names. Tournament Practice Room? What's going on? Oh, never mind. Dungeon Level. Yawning Portal Dungeon Level. Weird. Alright. What were we doing here? We are playing Moon Blessed Cleric. So yes, use the ability, get Warlock class on top, pass it. If they... Oh, what's this guy? Combat damage to a player. That player loses a life, mills a card, you gain a life and scry one. Drain and scry one. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Ouch. So they can make any creature unblockable, including itself. Well, any one creature each combat. So they can get 4 damage in here. Pretty cool. But I can make this thing not able to attack, which might be the best. They do that, they untap something, can't block. Interesting. Well, let's just start this class. What do we want? Oh, Minimus Containment. Yeah, let's grab that. I think we just grab that and then use it. Well, let's attack first. Which one do we want? We can look here. Create a treasure. Target creature can't attack you until your next turn. I think we just get the treasure here. And then contain Curdle. Loses all abilities. That's perfect. Maybe I should have attacked with Moon Blessed Cleric. Somewhat unlikely they block, but it's actually a good blocker for this hive. Take another 3. Damage has not been easy. Anyway, get rid of that thing. Gives them a treasure, but hopefully that doesn't matter for them too much. Scry 2 next. Then we're starting to get good stuff. Then we get skeletons or play cards from the top of your library. Use that mana. Why would they use the mana immediately? They're just ashamed to have it in play. Maybe they have a way of getting it back from the graveyard. Exile target card from defending player's graveyard. Goodbye, containment. They just wanted to get rid of it. Yeah, so what I'll do is double block the hive. I'm pretty sure it's just a 3/3 menace. If they have a bounce spell, they can kill the cleric. But that doesn't seem that good. They could untap it. That doesn't seem that good. All right, getting it. Okay, kill my 3/2. And I'm left, if this happens, they lost their treasure for no reason. It seems like they lost their treasure for no reason. And I'm left with something that can block the 2/3, another Minimus Containment. If I ever need it, I have Rally Maneuver. Should I just do Spare Dagger here? I guess so. It's the difference between 4 hits and 5 hits. No, hold on. could bump up the Warlock class. That might be my best bet. Let's see what happens if we attack. Certainly that would be the most damage to them. Scry 2. Half-elf monk. Do we need these cards? Bottom with that. We'll top half-elf monk. It seems good. If things go awry. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, this is an expensive move. Oh, it's 7 to do it? Yeah. That should put them down to 8. Yeah, let's do that. And then pretty much that kills them next turn. Spare dagger and all. Okay, you got a 2-1. And if that's the best they can do, they get in 4 damage here. And then untap their flyer, I guess. Oh, they didn't even do it. So why not attack? Oh, I see. They wanted it to block. I see. Well, Spare Dagger does win it if they have nothing else. Not to mention Rally Maneuver, but I'm not super interested in that. So what do we want? Runestone Cavern or the Graveyard. Let's do the Graveyard. There's nothing else I really want to play this turn because I have so many things good in my hand. It does let you play lands, so I guess that can be good. Oh, I could kill this Dungeon Crawler. But whatever. If we get 4 damage in, that's enough. You lose 4. Wow. Double strike. Puts us on the map. Round 2. Let's do it. This is fine. The Cleric. The Cleric is a nice card later, but I guess it's not bad early. Spare Dagger. We only have one option, so I think it'll only let us... Oh, right. Doesn't let us kill Spare Dagger. Red-white artifacts. Mimic. Surprisingly strong, the Mimic. Three haste Bugbear. I think I'll just trade Rally Maneuver with this thing. That might have been premature, given that half-elf monk doesn't, well, could have just killed it. Now I don't mind attacking with this. This was good, though. Spare Dagger would have allowed the Bugbear to keep getting past this thing. Now they'd have to activate Mimic, then equip Spare Dagger to it. Then it falls off, and they'd have to repeat the whole process. Vigilance is nice on this 1/4. So obviously I can't block here, but they wasted their whole turn to get in 4 damage, so I'm sure that's not too bad for me. Hopefully I draw land. Come on, land. Land is what I want. Nope, so I'll attack. And if you're not going to draw land, drawing something to use up all your mana is pretty good too. Not to mention something that trades pretty well with the Mimic. They missed one land drop, but they're back on course now. Hulking Bugbear is not bad. 3 mana, 3/3 haste. Tiger Tribe Hunter. 4/4 pack tactics. You may sacrifice a creature. When you do, this flings it at a creature. Interesting. So that's one we don't want to be attacking us all the time. Oh, and they had to sacrifice their Mimic to even do it. Okay, well, hopefully they trade here. I don't think they will, having invested so much in it. But I can't imagine they'll... I don't know what to imagine. I think we just play Planar Ally. They would need to add 1 power to it somehow. Not to, like, if they had another Hulking Bugbear, this turn would be really good for them. But I have to assume they can't do something so ridiculous. Even then, what happens? We trade our Bugbear for the ally. Okay, Hobgoblin. They don't have a way to give it haste. Oh, they do have a way to give it haste. Oh my god. They had just exactly what they needed here. So what are we... We're going to lose our half-elf monk, I think. But what we can do is block ally and cleric on the hunter. And come out with something at least. Oh, they're not even doing that. We'll just take 8? That's it? I think we can take 8 here. Yeah, let's just take 8. I'm really somewhat surprised they did it this way. I mean, not an awful turn for them, but yeah, I think that leaves us in a pretty good spot. I mean, we could just tap this guy. Enter into the dungeon. What do we want? We want to gain a life. Each player loses a life? No thanks. But we should really count this out. So we're doing 8 here, which gets them to 5. Loses 2 life unless they discard a card. Make a 1/1 goblin. Gaining 1 life might be pretty important. It's hard to say for sure. But I think we're going to do the shorter dungeon because this game's not going to last that long. So we'll scry 1. How much do we need of Plains? I think we like it. Yeah, I think Plains lets us win next turn and lets us keep up the tap target creature. So that gets in a bunch of damage. We'll play Sepulture Ghoul. I should look up what the Sepulture means. A small room or monument cut in rock or built of stone in which a dead person is laid or buried. Oh, cool. Post-combat, nothing. Okay, pass it. See, we're learning here. And then I really don't want this hunter to attack. Let's see, they might play another creature. Divine Smite. If it's black, exile it instead. So we sacrifice this. Nice. Venture into the dungeon. I think we want a Goblin Lair. I don't think I've ever ventured into the dungeon on my opponent's turn before. That was cool. Divine Smite there. Well, I guess I asked for it. Beginning of combat. We don't want this guy attacking us. And if that Hobgoblin captain attacks us, they're dead anyway. So I think they just know they're dead. Great. Double Divine Smite. Wow. And this is not the game that we need Divine Smite. They're red, white. Yes. I think we're just good here. Good to go. That's an awkward hand for the draw. It's very hard for me to mulligan when I have the lands. Wow. Hasty. Well, I certainly have the lands. So I'm going to be taking some hits here, especially if they have a 2-drop. Because if they can curve out with 2-drop into 3-drop, it's going to be a lot of turns where I'm getting hit for full damage, yeah. These are the risks that we take. Ooh, Menace too. It's going to be a 4/4 Menace. And then Spare Dagger. Then we've got to think what we want to trade here. I think we'll trade Clattering Skeletons with the Javelineer. And then we'll instantly get that second dungeon trigger. So I think the timing of it works out a little better playing the skeletons first. Ouch. Both. Actually, that's not true. Hold on, they would need to re-equip the Javelineer to kill this, but it would, if they did, it would also kill this. So I think I like this better. Now we just lose to a +1/+1 trick, or this dies to a +2 damage trick. You're ambushed. Oh, that's actually really good. If we'd played this, their thing would have survived. What do we want? Each player loses a life. No, thank you. Gain a life. That's probably something I'm interested in. Or 1/1 Goblin. Yeah. Let's do that so we can get a blocker. They don't have too many cards left. Oh no, Nadar? Let's top it. I mean, it's a good card. When it enters or attacks, another Menacer. Alright. Play this guy, equip the dagger, get a goblin. Make sure I know which one does what. Okay, goblin. Indeed, Goblin Lair makes the goblin. Then I'm going to equip the goblin with the spare dagger. And what that does is it means if they remove one creature, we can still trade with their veteran. And if we double block the veteran, do we want to take all this damage? I think we do this. What's next? A 1/1 counter on target creature. I think this is better. Wait! Why didn't I just block it with the 3/4? I don't know. Okay, that's not good. Oh, target creature gets -4/-0. Actually, I think we're fine here. Oh no, we can't do that. Oh no, we're actually dead. I really screwed this up. Stand and fight. Why did I do all that? We would have had one extra creature if I'd only blocked this way. So I screwed up. Let's try Warlock class, see if we find anything ridiculous. And then we can do Nadar. Then again, I think if we go to 3 life, we might be in decent shape here. I always say that. Ghoul, ally, Pegasus. Why don't we take the nice expensive ally? 5. Yeah, take that. Then we've got Nadar. Yeah, I would still have a goblin if I didn't screw that last turn up so much. So now we'll double block the big one, go down to 1. Dark Pool. Huh, they've got 0 cards left. So, let's see. In combat. And I guess they would kill Nadar, but it's unclear, I suppose. Attacking with both is correct again. This time I have to make this block. They're going to kill the bigger one. And despite my mistake, I still need to play as well as I can. Oh no! I don't... Oh, that might be good. Lifelink. If only I had the mana to do it. Well, what happens? Let's say we take 6. And we gain 6. If I didn't misplay this, everything might have worked out. I can't do that either. My only hope here... My only hope is that Rally Maneuver can survive, but I don't think it will. Yeah, I think I would have won this game if I had just blocked in the obvious way. Oh wow! They're just gonna let me win. I think. Or at least not lose immediately. Unless they drew some trick that... I have to block the big one. I have to block the big one, so I say, okay. And then, oh no, it's not 6. No, I still lose, because I only gain 4. I needed 2 creatures. Yeah, I missed it. Okay, no more mistakes. Can't afford them. Blink Dog. Blink Dog's fine, but I think we don't need Blink Dog here. We'll be on the play. We'll try to get something we can do before turn 4. And we have it. Gain some life. It's always good. Get that into play. Okay, Moon Blessed Cleric. No reason not to do that. Looks like our opponent might be missing red. We'll get... I think we'll just get Warlock's doohickey. Then we can... what can we do here? Then we'll do Veteran Dungeoneer to scry one. Wow, what is that block? That's surprising. I do want to scry, but maybe I don't need to scry. Yeah, just get this in play. That is surprising to see, that block. Makes me a lot less nervous. Armory Veteran. Maybe they can play the +2 mace. +2 mace. Goodness. Yeah, Pegasus getting 8 damage. If they let us. Maybe they were worried about losing the race, although my deck should be less aggressive in general. Ah, they're going to exile the skeletons. Nothing we could do about that. They just have 2 of these main deck. It's so good against us. Ooh, fighter class. That'll get them their +2 mace, I'm sure, unless they have something better. Paladin's shield. Flash +0/+2, but it gives their guy menace. I don't know why they're doing that. Sure, they could play the Paladin's shield, but it just saves their guy. They could have gotten 2 damage in. I don't know. Who knows? I kind of want to do Warlock class, but we can just do that later. So what do we want? Scry 1. Each player loses a life. We're doing Annihilation this time. This time we're going for maximum damage here. And it's pretty quick to get through, so Gloomstalker might be okay. Another Veteran. 2/4 Menace. This time I can't block it. They might move it. No, equip for 3. That's funny. So they just don't have anything good to do here. Well, they know we have Warlock class in our hand. They don't know we're inclined to use it. But I am inclined to attack here because these veterans can get better. So if they trade there, they'll just take another one from the Warlock class. Oh, they've got something. +1/+3. Not overly concerning to me. Okay. They're down to 3, so they are pretty dead. They can't kill many of my creatures on their turn, let's put it that way. All the classes are good. I think that one of the green classes is especially good, having to do with putting 1/1 counters on things. The wizard class is also really good in the late game. Whenever you draw a card at level 3, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Getting 1/1 counter a turn anywhere you want is pretty strong, but that is especially strong when you're a blue deck that draws extra cards. Tales of Fear. Alright, what does this attack look like? The creature you died this turn, venture. Venture out, my friends. So, I mean, they're just dead here. One question would be whether they can just bounce one thing off. Yeah, okay, so yeah, our attack just kills them. That's great. What do we use? One of each dungeon along the way. So we are 2-0, and we could have won that second game, I'm pretty sure. They ran out of stuff and just barely killed us, and I blindly blocked with a 2-1 instead of a 3-4. That was the big decision point where we lost it. But we're on to the finals. Let's keep this hand. We've got our colors, our opponent's down to 6 on the play. AFR. Adventures in the Forgotten Realm. Yes, hello Krippy. I like it so far. I like the set a lot. So that's 2 really good sets in a row. Modern Horizons 2 and this one. Very nice draft format. Part of why I think it's so pleasant is the power level is really not ridiculous. Hopefully I get a blocker here. Come on. Give me a blocker. Combat damage to a player gives them a treasure. Oh well. Oh well, they get 1 treasure and 1 damage. I don't like this card at all. They got lucky. They got lucky. Roll a d20, scry 1. Oh well. So we'll get into the dungeon here. How much are we going to be exploring the dungeon? I don't know, but I think if you're not sure, the middle one is a good bet. Do we want Evolving Wilds? Almost. We almost want it, but I think it's just better to get something better. 3/3 flyer. That's not bad. A 2/3. Huh. Enters the battlefield or attacks. Okay, so the best bet here is just to get our Pegasus going. And then venture. Oh yeah, whenever this thing attacks. I didn't realize that. Okay, yeah, let's get a 1/1. Why? Why do we want a 1/1? Because then we can put a 1/1 counter on a creature. Yeah, so this one takes a little bit of planning. How did they gain so much life? Oh, this vampire spawn. A lot of vanilla effects here that aren't really that impressive. But I guess they add up over time. 1/3, which makes a treasure. 2/3, which drains. None of it's that impressive, really. Rally maneuver would be quite good here. God, if they bounce my creature, I'm in trouble. If they bounce Nadar, that is. First strike. What if they put... Oh. Okay, I think I know how I want to do this. I think I know how I want to do this. Let's put this here. Play a land. Attack with these two. 1 damage to any target. Venture into the dungeon first. Let's put a... let's put a 1/1 counter on Pegasus. No, that was so stupid. I should have put it on... Well, whatever. This is fine. Okay. Yeah, let's point that at the investigator. And then what we'll do here is give this first strike and give this +0/+2 and lifelink. So it doesn't die, it kills that guy. They take a bunch. Ooh, flash 5/3. Tragic. They don't want to attack because they need the block, I think. Great. Good deal. Huh, I do need to draw a card, don't I? Okay, let's go. Let's attack with these two. We're taking a hit of 3 back, but I think attacking is still okay. Because I'll be attacking for more later. Draw a card. Not the right card, but it's what we have to deal with. They trade there. Play a big one. Why is it so hard to get black? I should have kept Evolving Wilds on top. So they keep coming in for 3. 4 more hits of that and we're pretty dead. Not attacking it would be really funny. They found something. Dungeon map. Aha. I need a creature to die here. Well, I don't need a creature to die, but I wouldn't mind it. And then what do we want? Do we want to attack with this poor goblin? I guess so. Gets him really low. And then we can venture into the dungeon. At the end step. So, creature died. What dungeon do we want? We could get them to 1. We could scry 1 or gain a life. Each player loses a life. I think this is our best bet. Let's just scry 1. Planar ally. Sure. 3/3 flyer? Sure. They don't have much going for them here. All our creatures are lethal. None of their creatures can withstand ours. This is probably not the good half of their deck. considering they're 2-0. Zombie Ogre. But then again, I mean, this is the good side of my deck. Dragon Knight? No kidding, I didn't know this was a dragon. Get Tiamat back in here. They were black. They were black, weren't they? Let's take out, I don't know. I like Chattering Skeletons. I think we take out a land this time. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's do that. Definitely not a black source. 10, 5, 6, 7, 8. They were black, right? Black, blue. I think this is a little risky, but fine. We have stuff to do. And all we need is a land. Pretty much any land. Oh no. Yeah, like I say, that might have been the bad side of their deck. But if they're going to use Krydle here, they don't get much out of it. They get to scry one. Displacer Beast, now that's a good card. Oh no, okay. I've had a bad habit recently of not getting the mana I need. So all we need here is any mana. So they'll pay it because they have nothing better to do. They don't want to trade their Displacer Beast away. Is this because I went to 16 land? Am I being punished? It's definitely a 17 land set. Another dungeon map. All right, look at this. It's going to be a slow, painful loss here. So let me get rid of a Deadly Dispute. If we can get Nadar back in here, I mean, maybe there's a chance. We've got to draw Swamp this turn. They've already they've already played a land, so doing Runestone Caverns is better to do before you play a land. This is getting ridiculous. %15% of my deck is lands, apparently. Alright, well, what's this thing gonna do? Mess me up somehow. I think, yeah, they play Herald here. You may play them. You may play them. You can just play them anytime? Oh, wow. Okay, well, no lands, no good. Yeah, at least our sideboard card was good. But we need a cut here. Maneuver's fine, I think. Yeah, yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Deadly Dispute, Containment's good. Warhound, a lot of this stuff is good and fine. But let's put that Plains back in. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a lot of white. Ah, whatever. Let's get our adventurer this time. That's what I want. Keep it. 8 sources of black, and we cannot find them. Come on, deck. Ah, there we go. Phew. Hall of Storm Giants. If you control 2 or more other lands, center's tapped out of blue until it's 6 mana, it becomes a 7/7? That seems powerful. But I guess that means you only start doing that at 7 mana. It's good though. It's pretty good. At least they mulliganed here. That flyer might be worth... Scry 2. That might be worth Minimus Containment. Yeah, the creature lands are pretty good. The start is so bad for me. It's so good for them. Yeah, see now they just have... If we wait, they just have Dungeon Map. And I can't really just use Rally Maneuver to... Yeah, what do I just have nothing here. I had nothing game 2 and nothing game 3. Air Cult Elemental. Bounce my Stalker, attack for 2. Well, some games are good, but this one... These last 2 games have not been good. But when that happens, you have to wonder, is it... Oh, does the vampires get bigger? Is it because... Bounce our Stalker again. Is it because you misbuilt the deck? And I don't think so. Is it because of a bad mulligan decision? I don't think so. So if you did what you could, you can't be too sad about it. Creature died, you may pay 1, make a blue skeleton. So I've got to kill this priest somehow, but that's going to be tough. Lightfoot Rogue, this is not the creature that will save me. So I guess, yeah, they lucked out here. We had a really good... They had a bad draw game 1. I had a bad draw game 3, and game 2 was just mana screw for one of us. And this time, that one of us was me. So now they get in with their zombie. I will block the priest, but of course they don't attack with that one. And I can't afford to trade this with a 2/2 token. Air Cult Elemental is really solid. A 2/5 flyer is impenetrable, but this bounce effect has always been incredible. Now they call it Whirlwind. One other target creature to its owner's hand. Yeah, there's no limitations on it or anything like that. Well, I could have died quicker. Let's see if the server's still here. No, opponent's gone. Alright, yeah, game 1 we didn't really see their powerful stuff. We just saw some of their 23rd cards. But this game, yeah, I think we see what's going on. Elementals. Even if I stabilized, they were going to have this Hall of Storm Giants eventually. Yeah, Windseer came down pretty early. Dungeon map. That is a really nice way to secure the late game, is to have a few cards like this. Not to mention for them, it got Air Cult Elemental out a turn sooner. Yeah, 2/5 flyer, not bad stats for a 6 mana card. I think even if you're paying 5 mana, a 2/5 flyer is a huge creature. Sure, it attacks, but it also is one of the best blockers you could imagine. It blocks 4/4s, no problem. It blocks almost any flyer. Oh well, we still hunt for a trophy. The hunt for the trophies continues. Now, I think I'm done for today. So that was a good first look or introduction to the format. And we'll definitely be back because I'm having a lot of fun with this format. Like, obviously, we didn't get crushed because of some ridiculous rare. We got crushed because the game is Magic the Gathering, and sometimes you don't draw the cards you need. But it feels a little worse when, like, your deck is doing what it's supposed to do, and your opponent just has one mythic rare that crushes you. And I guess that's still possible in this set, but nothing here is totally broken. And this match didn't come down to decision making so much as match 2 might have. But thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Good luck in your drafts, and I'll catch you later.